Okay, welcome back to another episode of Third and 23. I'm your host, Alex, here to talk ACC football, specifically my ACC football preview. Last year, I did something different. I did an entire preview of all of college football and who I thought would win every conference and so on. And this time around, I'd like to just break it out. So I'm going to do different videos for different conferences, and also have a gambling aspect to it. Because as you know, if you're watching this video, you can do futures bets on conference championship winners. Conference championship winners isn't a bet I typically do, but it's something that I may consider this season. And to give you an idea of what I'm looking at this year, I'm going to start it out with the ACC. So if you look at your screen, I ranked my top six in the ACC stand. How I think the ACC regular season standings are going to uh, turn out. There's no reason to do more than six because I don't think any of those other teams are factors. And I also included their current odds to win the ACC. So I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm going to start from six. So Florida State, if you see Florida State, they're a plus 250 to win the ACC. They're the odds-on favorite to win the ACC this year. You talk to any of the talking heads, the experts out there, so-called experts out there, they say that Florida State, top 10 team, bottom of the top 10 kind of ranking, and they should win the ACC this season. I went over Florida State in my futures over under wins video, so I'm not going to, dive right back into all of that. But essentially, my point is Florida State lost just about everything from last season. They're replacing their entire roster. A lot of Florida State fans will have you believe that 63-3 annihilation to Georgia in the bowl game is just because all their guys were out. But the reality is the guys that were playing in that game are the guys who are going to be playing this season. So I think some people are still believing that same Florida State team is here this year. It's not. This is a completely different team with going with a quarterback on his third team who has had accuracy issues in DJU, uh, and then a whole host of other new faces that aren't as good, that transfer portal guys that aren't as good as the former transfer portal guys that they're replacing. So I got Florida State at six. I don't. I think they're the most. I think they're going to rank as the disappointing team this season in college football if you're going by preseason rankings. At fifth, I got NC State. NC State is a team that's going to have a good defense this year. On the back end, it's going to start with Aiden White and Shaheen Battle. Both of those guys are seniors this season. They've had decent to good careers and moments in college football. Now their seniors are going to probably put it together and probably have a really good corner tandem this year. Up front, Davin Van is a pretty good player on the defensive line. They do got to replace all everything Peyton Wilson at linebacker, but overall, I think they're going to have a pretty good defense this year. That's the best thing I could probably say about them. Is pretty good. Offensively, why I don't have NC State ranked higher is offensively. Offensively, they're going to go with Grayson McCall at quarterback from Coastal Carolina transfer. A year ago, Grayson McCall was kind of a hot commodity. People were trying to get Grayson McCall to transfer to their school. And for whatever reason, he stayed at Coastal Carolina. There's a lot of rumors out there on why. One of the rumors out there was, academics. He wasn't academically able to qualify for some schools. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just saying what was out there. Be that as it may, he still stayed at Coastal Carolina. So something was going on. But now he's at NC State this season. But he's at NC State having to learn a new system and with only one legitimate weapon offensively to get the ball to, and that's Kevin Concepcion, who was a super freshman last year. Had a great freshman year, big time playmaker, got wheels, but he's the only guy. So that's why I don't have NC State higher, is because I think they're going to be led by their defense, and there's going to be moments where that NC State offense is going to be really bogged down and not really getting anything done. Moving on, number 4, Louisville. Louisville last year was in the ACC title game. Kind of had I don't want to call it Cinderella year, but really came out of nowhere to win or what wasn't win it, but take second, I guess you could say, in the ACC regular season standings and make it to the ACC title game. Now they flopped in the ACC title game in one of the ugliest games you're going to see, but they still made it, and they bring back some pieces to still have a chance to contend for the ACC crown this season. What I really like on Louisville is their defense. So defensively, they got Quincy Riley at corner, probably the top corner in the ACC. They got Ashton Gelati on edge, one of the best edge rushers in the country. They're going to have a pretty good defense this season. They're really similar to NC State in that sense, and similar to NC State in the sense that they went and got a transfer portal quarterback. It hasn't been announced yet, but they're probably going to start Tyler Shug, who transferred in from Texas Tech, but he also used to play for Oregon. He's played at a lot of places, has had injury problems in his career. And when he's played, he's been just when he's played anyway. So it's not a big addition to me at quarterback. It's not a big addition to me. So you got some question marks there. When you got a big question mark at quarterback, you can only go so far offensively, and I think Louisville is going to have some problems there. They went into the transfer portal and got Ja'Cory Brooks to transfer in at receiver, and they got Colin Lacy to transfer in at receiver. So they went transfer portal to get some guys to help out the offense. But at the end of the day, Tyler Sugar would be the one who makes that thing go, and I don't even know if he's going to be able to play all 12 games. So now we get to my top three. My top three, these are my three legitimate. These three teams can win the ACC. One of these three teams is going to win the ACC this season. Starting off with Virginia Tech, I went over Virginia Tech in my over/unders video as well, so no really need to delve right back into that. But essentially, they bring back a ton of players. Kyron Jones, second year in the system, starting, so he should really know the system, have the system down pat, look good doing it. Ollie Jennings comes back at receiver. He was their number one last year, who only played one game. So now he's going to give them a good trio to Quan Felton and Jalen Lane. So they have a really good trio at receiver. And of course, as I've said before, Basil Tootin is an absolute dog at running back, top 5 running back in the country, in my opinion. No one knows about him, and he's gonna probably start running slap over some people this season. So that Virginia Tech offense is going to be explosive. It's going to score a lot of points. Defensively, a lot of guys coming back, so you got to expect to see some improvement on that side of the ball. And with that being Brent Price, the head coach for Virginia Tech's specialty, you should see a much stingier defense for the Hokies this season. So I got them at third. Second, and one of the teams I have in the ACC title game is going to be Miami. Miami's got a squad this year. I got to give it up to them. They really went out there and they kind of did the Florida State thing, and they really went out into the portal and got legitimate guys to come in to their school. And when I say the Florida State thing, I mean Florida State of the last couple years, Florida State thing. First, they went out and got Tyler Barron at defensive end to pair with Ruben Bain. Tyler Barron and Bain at defensive end, that's some two serious edge rushers there to contend with. At linebacker, I pronounce his name wrong all the time, but Noah at linebacker, who his brother plays offensive tackle. He was a force last season. He was coming on as the season was going on. He was a force last season at middle linebacker, and so he's going to be a really good captain of the defense. The back end is a weakness on their team. I think that they got to replace their whole secondary, and I don't really like the pieces they have replacing it. So that is a weakness on their team. Then offensively, they bring back both offensive tackles, Mount Noah and then Jalen Rivers. So that's two good cornerstones to help pass block their new quarterback, Cam Ward, transferring from Washington State. You probably didn't see Cam Ward play a lot because he played for the Cougars, but the guy could deal. He was dealing last year. Now he has to learn a new system, and that always takes some time. So it might not look great off the jump for Cam Ward, but as the season goes on, it'll probably look a lot better. He's a pretty good quarterback. They also got Damian Martinez, the transfer in from Oregon State at running back. That's a bull of a running back. And when you pair him with Mark Fletcher, who's looking like a super freshman last year, that's going to be one of the best running back tandems in the country this year. Not the best, because the best is in Ohio State, but it's going to be one of the best running back tandems in the country this year. So I like Miami to take second in the ACC standings and to make it to the ACC title game. So I really like that plus 400. And then finally, Clemson. Clemson just brings back a lot of guys. And I really think Cade Klubnik at quarterback is taking the next step. He's on that trajectory that you expect of a quarterback. So as a freshman, he was. As a sophomore, started to improve as the season goes on. It's his junior year now. He's going to take off. I think he's going to really take off. He gets Antonio Green back at receiver, who missed. He was banged up all of last season. Tyler Brown comes back as well. He was a super freshman last year, so he's got some dynamite guys outside who can make plays after the catch. At running back, I expect Phil Maffa to probably lead the ACC in rushing now that Will Shipley has moved on, so he can get all the carries. I think he's going to lead the ACC in rushing. Offensive line was an issue last year. It might still be one, but they bring back a lot of guys at O-line. So that experience has to count for something. O-line experience always counts for something in college football. And then defensively, you're going to see some guys like TJ Parker, finally, Peter Woods make a name for themselves. They were making names for themselves last year as stud freshmen. Now they're probably going to take that next step and become household names. Barrett Carter's back at linebacker as well. He kind of had a kind of year last year, if anybody was paying attention, but he could get a bounce back this season. So I like Clemson to win the regular season, or take first, I guess you could say, in the regular season ACC standings. So I'm looking at an ACC conference championship game of Clemson, Miami. And I'll keep in mind, if you're doing a futures bet, if you pick the right ACC regular season first place team, that doesn't matter. Futures bet are about championship game winners who actually won the conference championship game. So with that said, a Clemson versus Miami matchup, man, I'm taking the Hurricanes. I think the Canes are going to win the ACC. Like I said, I really like the portal moves they made. I think Cam Ward is going to get better as the season goes along. With Restrepo and Jacoby George outside, he's got weapons, guys who are dangerous after the catch. Bulls at running back. Offensive line has experience. Defensive front should be tough. Secondary is an issue, but it's enough, I think, or it's not enough of an issue to prevent Miami from winning the ACC and booking an automatic bye in the college football playoff. So, anyways, that's how I see it go down. I like that plus 400 for Miami. It's something that I would strongly consider doing. Plus 1,000 Virginia Tech isn't a bad bet either if you're putting something small down on it. But anyways, if you like the content, please like, follow, subscribe. If something you disagree with, feel free to let me know in the comment section. And you're going to see my YouTube handle here in a few seconds. Take care.